If you're a diehard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a blitz. Rumors have been swirling around the NFL lately, but the latest one has fans absolutely buzzing. Tyreek Hill, one of the league's most electrifying playmakers, could be heading to the Cleveland Browns. Yes, you heard that right. The Tyreek Hill, the cheetah himself, may be looking to trade the warm beaches of Miami for the gritty grind of the Dawg Pound. While nothing has been made official, several sources close to the situation are reporting advanced interest between Hill's camp and Cleveland's front office. And let's be honest, the Browns have been known to make splash moves when the opportunity arises. This wouldn't be the first time they've gone Allen on a star. But this time it feels different. Hill isn't just another name. He's a game changer, a lightning bolt and cleats, and if this rumor gains steam, it could completely shift the balance of power in the AFC. What makes this even juicier is that Hill has reportedly been seen meeting with Brown staff at a private location, fueling speculation that discussions are beyond preliminary. Could the Browns actually pull this off? Could they land one of the fastest and most dangerous receivers in the game? Now, let's talk about why this would be such a seismic move for the Browns and the league as a whole. Tyreek Hill joining. Cleveland instantly supercharges an offense that has been, let's face it, inconsistent at best. Deshaun Watson has shown flashes of his former self, but hasn't quite lived up to the expectations set when he arrived in a blockbuster trade. Pairing him with a weapon like Hill, that could be the catalyst Watson needs to get back to Pro Bowl form. Imagine the vertical threats, the quick strike capability the nightmare defensive coordinators would face trying to contain Hill, Amari Cooper, and Elijah Moore all on the same field. The Browns' offense would go from unpredictable to unstoppable in a heartbeat. Add in David Njoku at tight end and Nick Chubb in the backfield, and you've got a complete arsenal. We're talking Madden-level potential here. But there's another layer, how this changes the Browns' identity. A team once known for grinding out wins with defense and a run-heavy scheme might suddenly become an air raid juggernaut. The AFC North isn't ready for this kind of speed. The Ravens, Steelers, and Bengals would have to completely re-strategize defensively. Of course, the money question looms large. Tyreek Hill isn't coming cheap. Currently one of the highest paid receivers in the NFL, Hill still has years left on his massive contract with the Dolphins. So how, you might ask, could Cleveland afford him? That's where things get interesting. Rumors suggest that a combination of contract restructuring and potential cap gymnastics could make the move possible. The Browns have been known to creatively manage their salary cap situation. Just look at the Watson deal. And some insiders believe Andrew Berry is already cooking something up behind the scenes. Some reports even point to the possibility of including key players or picks in a sign and trade scenario. Maybe someone like Donovan Peoples-Jones or draft capital from 2026 could be on the table to sweeten the deal for Miami. After all, the Dolphins might be looking to get value now rather than wait for Hill to hit free agency. And don't forget, the NFL is a business. Even superstars aren't untouchable if the offer is right and the books align. This could be the perfect storm for a blockbuster. From Hill's perspective, the timing actually makes sense. He's already hinted at retirement after this contract and has expressed interest in spending more time with family and pursuing business ventures. So why not make one last run at a ring in a city desperate for a championship? Cleveland for all. Its ups and downs has a fan base as passionate as any in the league. They live and breathe football. Hill would be embraced like royalty the moment he touched down at Cleveland Hopkins International. And think about the legacy aspect. If it helps bring a Super Bowl to the Browns, a franchise starved for playoff success, it would cement his place in NFL history forever. He wouldn't just be remembered as a speed demon, he'd be a legend. And what better way to cap off a career than with a storybook run in one of football's most loyal cities? It's the kind of narrative that writes itself. Hill gets to be the hero, the spark, the final piece, and Browns fans get to believe, really believe, that this could finally be their year. But this is the NFL and nothing is ever that simple. We have to consider what Miami gets out of this. Losing Hill would be a gut punch for the Dolphins offense, no question. Tua Tagovailoa has leaned heavily on Hill's playmaking ability, and Mike McDaniel's system has flourished because of Hill's unique skill set. Trading him would be a bold, controversial move, unless they see the writing on the wall. Some sources claim there's been a bit of friction behind the scenes, with Hill not entirely thrilled about certain aspects of the Dolphins' long-term direction. Maybe it's about money, maybe it's about winning now, or maybe he just wants a new challenge. Regardless if Miami's front office thinks they can reload with younger talent or use Hill's value to shore up other areas, especially on defense, a deal might not be as far-fetched as it seems. And if Hill is quietly pushing for a new destination, the Browns might just be the ideal partner, a contender with cap room draft capital and a clear need for a superstar wideout. Then there's the Deshaun Watson factor. Love him or hate him, Watson remains one of the league's most polarizing quarterbacks. But one thing is certain: when he's locked in, he's elite. During his peak in Houston, Watson was nearly unstoppable, and he did it with far less talent than he'd have in Cleveland. If Hill signs, the chemistry between QB and WR takes time, sure, but Hill is the kind of receiver who creates separation with sheer speed. He doesn't need perfect timing. He just needs a quarterback who can sling it deep. Watson can do that. He can extend plays, find receivers on broken routes, and launch missiles downfield. That's tailor-made for Hill, and the two have reportedly trained together in the past during off-season sessions. If they're already familiar with each other's rhythms and styles, the adjustment period could be shorter than expected. Plus, Watson has a lot to prove this season, to fans, the league, and himself. What better way to silence the critics than by connecting with Hill for highlight reel touchdowns every Sunday? Enjoying the content so far? Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. Let's also not forget the ripple effect this could have on the AFC playoff picture. With the Chiefs, Bengals, Bills, and Dolphins all jostling for supremacy, the addition of TYREEK Hill to the Browns could shake up the entire conference. Suddenly, Cleveland would move from fringe playoff hopeful to legitimate Super Bowl contender. Analysts would be forced to rewrite their predictions. Betting odds would shift overnight, and teams that once looked down on Cleveland would have to take them very seriously. We're talking about the fastest player in the league joining a team already loaded with potential, and that has major implications. Defensive coordinators would lose sleep trying to figure out how to cover both Hill and Cooper while containing Chubb in the backfield. No more load in the box, no more ignoring the deep ball. This offense would demand respect. And if the Browns' defense holds up, which it should given their talent, then the AFC might just have a new powerhouse. All this from a single move that's still just a rumor, but a powerful one. Interestingly enough, Vegas odds makers have already taken notice. While no official trade or signing has occurred, several sportsbooks have quietly adjusted the Browns' Super Bowl odds, moving them slightly closer to the top tier of contenders. That usually means someone knows something. Vegas doesn't move lines on a whim. They respond to whispers, leaks, and back-channel information. And in this case, they seem to believe there's at least a chance that Hill to Browns is real. Some fans are even reporting odd social media activity. Tweets liked by Hill involving Browns content, cryptic Instagram stories, even emojis that hint at change. It's not hard evidence, but in today's world, digital breadcrumbs often tell the story before the official press release drops. If Hill is trying to control the narrative and build anticipation, he's doing a masterful job. Every fan base loves a little drama, a little mystery, and Hill is delivering just that. He's the kind of player who understands branding, understands buzz. If this move happens, it's going to be huge, not just for Cleveland, but for the entire league. And what about the locker room dynamic? The Browns have quietly built a strong culture under Kevin Stefanski with a focus on discipline, accountability, and leadership. Hill's arrival could either supercharge that environment or, if mismanaged, throw off the balance. But from what we know, Hill is well respected in locker rooms. He brings energy, competitiveness, and intensity. He practices like he plays, fast, hard, and with purpose. That kind of approach tends to elevate everyone around him. Young receivers like Cedric Tillman could learn a ton from just watching Hill. I'll go through reps. And a high-character guy like Amari Cooper would likely welcome the challenge of sharing WR1 duties. It's not about ego. It's about winning. That's been the message from the Browns front office all off-season. They're not chasing headlines. They're chasing wins. And TYREEK Hill, for all his flash and swagger, is a proven winner. A guy who's been to the top and knows what it takes to get there again. That mentality would fit right in with a team that feels like it's on the verge of something special. Let's be real. If this goes through, it will be one of the most talked about moves in recent NFL history. Not just because of Hill's talent, but because of what it represents. The Browns would be making a bold statement that the days of mediocrity are over, that they're willing to swing big take risks and do whatever it takes to bring a title to Cleveland. It's the kind of move that energizes a franchise, rallies a fan base, and puts fear into opponents. It's also the kind of move that can backfire if the chemistry doesn't click or if injuries strike. But that's the gamble. That's the thrill. And for Browns fans who've endured decades of heartbreak, this kind of excitement feels almost surreal. Could this really happen? Could they really land Tyreek Hill? Right now, it's just smoke. But where there's smoke, there's often fire. And if even half of what's being whispered turns out to be true, then buckle up. Because the 2025 season just got a whole lot more interesting. Keep your eyes on Cleveland, folks. The cheetah may be coming. Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you like the video, share it with a fellow fan, hit subscribe and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!